Okay, everybody, what is up? This is Everybody's Golf. This is the only the second tournament I've ever played in this game. I just got the game today. I pre-ordered it. My initial impressions are it's a lot of fun, but in typical Hot Shots Golf or Everybody's Golf fashion, it is easy to pick up and play, but it is not easy to master. Um, I just want to kind of show you guys some of the gameplay. This is just an offline tournament. I think I have to rank up to even play online. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I have to reach a certain number of points or rank up enough to even play online. Um, but my initial impressions are that this game is a pretty good improvement over the past couple of games from PlayStation 3, Hot Shots Out of Bounds, and then World Invitational. Um, I can tell you one thing that I don't like so far is the putting. I'm terrible at the putting. Um, I got okay at putting in Hot Shots Golf Out of Bounds. I got decent. My biggest complaint, I think, is the same complaint that most everybody um, else has had so far, is probably the removal of the advanced shot feature. Um, they've gone back to just the traditional three-click swing system, which you can see here. I do really good here, but most of the time I struggle with it, and it's going to take some time to get better at it and to really get a decent handle on how it works and the timing to get decent at the game itself, because it really does come down to um, there's a lot of bells and whistles, there's a lot of colors, there's a lot of new features, but really this game, all it is just three clicks on a swing meter, and that's what it comes down to. And so I think what's difficult, as you can see, is my putting is terrible. Is if you got used to the advanced shot in the PlayStation 3 era, you're gonna have a very difficult time. Um, you're gonna have a difficult time going back to the traditional shot. I mean, maybe you will, maybe you won't, but I know I have thus far in the evening that I've played the game, and I know that seemed to be one of the biggest complaints for most people, is that what are we gonna do without the advanced shot? It seems almost inexcusable that they wouldn't have added that in, because it was such a natural. I mean, it was the closest thing you got to Tiger Woods PGA Tour with a natural looking, um, a natural feeling swing in this arcade Hot Shots Golf, Everybody's Golf setting. It's a little, I don't want to say disconcerting or off-putting, um, but to be setting your swing before you actually, the animation of your swing happens, it's just a little off for me. And so I don't want to complain too much about it, because it's not. I think I'll get used to it, and I think most people will. It's just going to take some time, and I think this is a game set up for grinding. They're going to want you to really grind in this game. Like I said, this is just like the other Hot Shots Golf games. This is a game that you pick up and you play, and you can just have fun with it. But with this new MMO, online turf war experience, playing with everybody across the world, these crazy, you can even see there where you've just got, you got like, you're competing against 4 or 5 other people all in the same tee box. It's a little hectic. For me, a kid with attention deficit, it's a little wacky. It's a little, I don't want to say like confusing or distracting, but I guess it's slightly distracting. But again, if you just kind of focus on your shot, focus on what you're doing, you can drown out, you can ignore the other players on the course that are trying to hit the exact same time you are. But like I said, it's going to be a grind out at a fair. It's going to be, you're going to have to really put in some hours And I think what they're trying to do with this, all these new features of this kind of massive multiplayer online experience with Hot Shots, that I think they tried to implement in Out of Bounds on PlayStation 3, but they did a terrible job of. I think they've kind of turned a corner, and the way they've set it up is going to be interesting and fun, and I think exciting, and it's going to make for a little bit more competition. The other thing is I think that it's going to add a little bit more life to the game. I don't know about you, but I know that there's some games that I will sit down and play, and you kind of feel like you're just kind of alone, and some games are just lonely and kind of, I don't want to say depressing, but some games you just get kind of a weird, lonely feeling in, and you wish there was more life, you wish there was more interaction. And so I think that's what they wanted to go for with this new version of the game, is to try and make something, take the capabilities of online play, multiplayer in this next generation of consoles, and make it something that works for a golf game that's just all about goofy fun and just silly fun. And so that's the one thing I think most people love most about Hot Shots Golf or Everybody's Golf, is that you've got these goofy characters, you've got the customization to make your character look anything like you want. As you can see, I tried to make my guy as kind of basically me as possible. Just, this is a everyday outfit for me. It's just a boring dark t-shirt and pants and glasses and a goofy dad haircut. But yeah, I think what they've done here is good, because you've got a lot of new features as far as being able to run around the course and have it open. The course feels more connected. The course feels like being able to kind of, I haven't got to the part where we've been able to golf cart around on the courses yet, but when I get to that, I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. The other thing is, I don't know officially how many courses there are or how many courses they're going to add. If there's going to be DLC. The other thing I've heard a little bit about is warp tokens, the ability to kind of warp around the course, kind of like Star Trek fashion, I guess, which I've heard is, from other reviewers, sounds a little bit unfair as far as the whole the idea of like a turf war or the online play is, you've got to navigate the course, and part of the strategy of winning a round or a tournament is not just good golf, but strategizing which holes to play and getting to the holes faster than the other guy, or the other people in the tournament. So I don't know how much is going to be microtransactions. Hopefully it won't be something intrusive or something that, breaks the game or wrecks the game for people. I've never been too huge of a multiplayer sports guy, so it'll be interesting to see how this multiplayer experience turns out. I just want to say here, that looked like it was going to be a terrible shot the way I hit it, and then it turned out it was probably the shot that saved my round here, that saved my tournament for me. And that happens in this game. That happens in Everybody's Golf sometimes. You get lucky. I will say, others have commented in typical Hot Shots Golf, Everybody's Golf fashion, that you seem to sometimes have an easier time chipping it in from the rough or chipping it in from the fairway close to the hole than you do putting. I know that in Out of Bounds, that was always the case for me. I would almost always rather try to chip it in from 5 feet, maybe even 8 feet away, than I would try to putt it sometimes, because chip-ins were infinitely always easier than putting. And here it almost seems like, I don't want to jump to too many conclusions, but I would say here thus far, for what I've seen, it does seem almost slightly easier, or slightly the same, in that you're still getting opportunities to chip it in, and you're still getting opportunities to get those kind of, I don't want to say gimme birdies, but I think it might be on this hole here right now, or maybe it's the next hole. I think it's the last hole. You'll see that I totally misread the putt on a par putt or a birdie putt. I think it's a birdie putt opportunity, and I blow it way past the hole, and then I chip it in for a par to save my round and win this tournament. But like I said, I love this series. It's one of the best PlayStation exclusives out there. I think everyone should pick up and play this game, because even if you know nothing about golf, this is a fun game that people love to play. Me and my friends, we would get together, and this Hot Shots Golf was Out of Bounds was literally the only game we would play. I can usually only get together with my friends anymore and hang out with them because I can incentivize them with the opportunity to play Everybody's Golf or Hot Shots Golf. And this version, this latest version, will hopefully be no different. I've heard the offline multiplayer is kind of I don't know if it's a multi-controller setup. I heard someone say in a different video that it's like a pass the controller. So you only need one controller to play with several players. That could get weird or interesting depending on how many players you've got. But yeah, as you can see, I totally misread this putt. It blows way by, and I'm able to chip it in. So again, it's kind of just a pretty decent example of the classic Hot Shots Golf, Everybody's Golf. As you can see, everyone's in the way, but they don't affect the shot. The classic example of sometimes the chip-ins are just far easier than the putting. But anyway, so far my initial impressions are this is going to be so much fun. It's going to be off the charts crazy. It's going to be wacky, wild, and wonderful. And if you've never played this series, you've got to play it. So I'll tell you right now, go out, buy Everybody's Golf. Thanks, guys, and we will see you in the next video.